Hello there, what's up? Commando here. Welcome to my WrestleMania 33 predictions, and I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible, but that's probably going to be hard considering there's 13 matches in total, and that's a ridiculous amount in my opinion. It's just too much, and this show will likely be longer than last year's WrestleMania. There's one more match than last year, just checked, and then you've got bloody Rock appearances, you'll have New Day segments, you'll have random ass singers doing their thing, which doesn't need to happen, and people are not very happy about that either. I just think it's too much, and I was actually okay with the SmackDown's Women's Championship being on the pre-show, because it means the main show won't be as long. But people went nuts about that, and now it's on the main show. My only issue with the pre-show stuff is if they're going to be wrestling in front of like a 25% filled arena. That's my only issue. I think that's the only bad thing about it. Apart from that, I don't have an issue at all. But like last year, and then Royal Rumble and Survivor Series, when you're putting people out there and there's hardly anyone there, it's just so disrespectful, and I just don't agree with that. It's so stupid. Open the doors earlier, let more people in. They're waiting there for hours. Why not just open it an hour earlier? Logic. Anyways, let's get to it. First match, Neville versus Austin Aries, Cruiserweight Championship. I think Austin Aries will likely win it. And as for the build, I thought it started off really well. The way Austin Aries, announced that he was now no longer an in-ring. No longer a journalist expert or something he called himself. Now an in-ring expert. I thought that was good. Since then, I don't think it's been all that great. It's been okay, but it hasn't been amazing. And this is a thing for like all the matches except maybe Cena and Miz's and maybe Bray and Orton. I thought the final build for everything was really, really poor. I didn't feel like this is your final thing. This is what you're enticing people or whatever to watch WrestleMania. I thought it was a very poor final build for all the matches really. But Neville versus Aries, I didn't even know what happened, and they had two things this week, and I don't really remember what happened. I think they just had a fight, and Neville talking in his very forced voice. People seem to love this heel Neville, but I think it sounds very cheesy at times, to be honest. Sometimes it's okay, but they show that thing in the video package when he's like, "Pretender, after pretender." So annoying, so annoying. I'll go with Austin Aries for the win. On to the Giant Battle Royal. Does anyone care? Does anyone really care? Most of the people in this match have no chance of winning it. My only good thing about this is when Big Show did his thing this week, his like over the top challenge, and he's throwing loads of people out, and Braun finally comes out. I was like, yes, they're gonna actually have a thing at WrestleMania. I imagine those two will eliminate everybody or most people, and then they can have an awesome match like they did a few weeks ago on Raw. I would have just liked those two to just have a match at WrestleMania. I think that would have been even better, but if it's this, I can deal with it. Hopefully that's what happens. Hopefully Braun wins because he deserves it. Partly there's some surprise in what's supposed to happen, surprise appearances. So that's what Big Show just said on the Hall of Fame red carpet thing. I'll go with Braun. I'm about to watch the actual Hall of Fame. I thought I'll watch the red carpet, then I'll watch the Hall of Fame. But then I thought, well, I better make my predictions because it'll likely be a long video, and I need time to upload it, and I can't upload it while I'm watching stuff because the video won't play. So I thought I'll do it while I go and get something to eat, and I come back, it might be uploaded. Anyways, on to the main show. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Now, obviously they've had a couple of cool moments. When Orton burned the house down, I thought that was epic, and it's just completely out of nowhere. Like, that was so cool. And then they followed it up with nothing. And then the following week, Bray, you couldn't really see it. After the couple of weeks after, when they showed the replays of it, you could see better. They had better lighting, but the initial showing of it, you couldn't really see it. Bray covering himself in the ashes of Sister Abigail in his face and in his mouth. You know, who doesn't love that? I thought that was a cool moment, but it was just you couldn't see it. It was kind of stupid. And then I don't think there was really much. And then this week I thought it was the whole Orton stabbing the, well, WWE called it a crucifix, but when you look up crucifix, I didn't get anything. I didn't get a definition for it. There's crucifix, but there was no crucifix. He stabbed that thing in, and then they had like this cool video package, and then the snake coming to attack. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought it was good, but once the house burnt down, I thought, okay, we're in for some really cool stuff here. But I was expecting more, I really was, and I still kind of feel that this would have benefited of being Bray, Orton, and Harper. I think it just made sense, really. But didn't happen. I'm kind of surprised too, because they're all for just shoving people in matches and getting everybody in there. That's their thing, quantity over quality. I'm surprised that didn't happen. I really am. And Harper, Harper was doing good. He had an epic match with AJ Styles. He had a good match this week with Bray. I thought they would have shoved him in there. It would have been good. But we'll see. I don't know. I have my doubts on this match being, great. The match at No Mercy wasn't very good. I mean, Orton seems to think he's like, oh, we're gonna, I don't know if he said tear the roof down or whatever. He said something on the red carpet bit. I have my doubts. So for the winner, I'm going with Bray. I want Bray to win. He should win. Orton doesn't need to win. But something else I want to talk about. I don't feel like any of the titles feel important anymore. I don't know what it is. Just none of them seem to really feel important. I don't feel like they're making a big enough deal about all the championships. Like Bray, you very rarely see him with a title. I mean, well, Goldberg, he's never there as the Universal Champion. Women's Championship, I don't know. It just doesn't really feel important. It doesn't feel like a big deal. Maybe the SmackDown Women's Championship, but or the Raw Tag thing, since they're doing that stuff. But I just don't feel like the titles are mentioned now, especially the United States title. It doesn't seem like it's mentioned at all. It's on Chris Jericho. All of them just don't. They just don't feel important. I don't know what it is, but they just don't feel important. They just don't feel like they're making me care about the titles. Don't know what it is, but that's just how I feel. Anyways, moving on. Goldberg vs. Brock, Universal title. Apparently they're considering a swerve, because everybody sort of seems to think that Brock's gonna win, but there was a thing came out and they said that the WWE is considering a swerve, so they might actually make Goldberg win. I mean, again, does anybody really care about this? This whole, there's been two weeks since Goldberg has been a champion that he showed up. That's bullshit. This is what I hate about WrestleMania, is when all the part-timers come out and then there's these stupid video packages when they're not there, to like, oh, a special preview, and they even happens with fucking NXT 2 weeks in a row. I spoke about it in my NXT predictions. Bobby Roode and Shinsuke. It's actually worse build than this. They've had no interaction since their last match. Nothing. I think it's just bullshit. It's just lazy. Absolutely lazy. And as for this, Goldberg fucking got F5'd, and then this week Brock got speared. That's it. And well, if you want to go back, oh well, they've had their match and they've had this, and like, oh well, it's happening for 13 years, blah blah blah. Just shit. Just utter shit. And I honestly don't care. It could be a good match, but going by the last couple, it'll likely be over in less than a minute. Don't really care. I'll go with Brock. It's a match that shouldn't really be happening. Unless they're actually going to give us a good match and actually give us a good story and to care about it, but they haven't, so why should I care? Moving on, Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. I don't know. I don't really know who should win it. People seem to think Roman's going to win it, and they're not very happy about that, but I just don't feel like they've made me care about this. Again, that's the overall thing. I don't feel like they've done enough to make me care about this match. I've noticed that ever since WrestleMania 25, when Taker and Shawn Michaels probably had arguably the best build to a match at WrestleMania ever, in my opinion. At least of the ones I've seen. I haven't seen them all, but ever since then it's sort of been downhill. I think maybe Punk had some good build. He had some good stuff. But I feel like they just sort of half-ass it, and it's just lazy. I feel just lazy. I mean, I like the Undertaker getting eliminated by Reigns in the Rumble. That was good. And they've had sort of choke slammed and then they've speared, but I just don't feel it. It doesn't feel like WrestleMania build. It doesn't feel like it's important. That's my overall thing. It doesn't feel important. I'll go with Taker winning. Some people say it's his last match, but I hear that every year and it never seems to happen. I'll go with Taker. If Reigns wins, likely people will go insane. But as people have been saying for a long time, should turn heel. It would benefit him. Maybe him beating Taker would be that. If that was the case, I kind of would be okay with it. I don't really care. Since Taker's lost the streak, it doesn't really matter if he wins or loses now. Will he turn heel? Doubtful. Doubtful. A thing came out recently where apparently he's the top merchandise seller of the full-time talent, apparently. So they say. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. So I'll go with Taker. Moving on, Seth Rollins vs Triple H. I like the build to this, and it's a non-sanctioned match. So I don't know if there's like a ref there or not. They're just gonna beat the shit out of each other. I get the feeling there's no ref. That's at least what I'm thinking, and they're just gonna fight. And the way I see this going is Triple H is gonna be beating him up. Maybe Joey Samoa's gonna come out and help beat him up. And then I think Finn's gonna turn. Finn Balor. I think he's gonna return. That's what I'm thinking is gonna go down there. I think he'll come and help Seth Rollins. I don't think he would come and help Triple H. I don't think that would happen. I know that Finn and Seth had their thing last year, but I think he'll return and help Triple H. That's what I'm thinking. If that's the way it is, and it's just like a fight, but if it's an actual match, it doesn't seem like it that way. Seeing it's just a non-sanctioned match, I feel like they're just gonna go out there and just beat each other up. But yeah, the overall build to this has been alright. Didn't think it was actually going to happen with Seth and his injury, but it did. It's going to happen. I think his build has been pretty good for this. It's probably one of the better build matches on the show. It's been alright. It's been good. He signed the contract this week, and then Triple H beat him up a little bit. It's been alright. It's been okay. It's been pretty good. It's, like I said, one of the better builds. As for who wins, I'll go Seth, but like I said, I don't think it's an actual match. I think it's just a fight, so don't know. I'll just say Seth though. Moving on, Shane McMahon vs AJ Styles. Another match that people weren't happy about when it was rumored, but it's been pretty good build. When Shane got driven through the car window, that was pretty cool. And then he came back and did the elbow through the announce table. It was pretty cool. But then this week they had the contract signing. But nothing really happened. I thought it was kind of poor build. I thought, oh, they were maybe going to do something later on in the show, but they didn't. They just saw a contract signed and then got in each other's faces, and then that was it. I thought, that's it? That's your final thing to make me care about this? Pretty poor, pretty poor. But I think it could be a good match. People kept saying, oh, it should be a street fight. Then it could be epic. But, it could be a good match, regular up. I just hope Shane McMahon doesn't start his whole legit punching shit. Don't get that crap. Same when Goldberg returned, he tries to do the MMA crap. This isn't that. It's wrestling. Throw a wrestling punch. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. He's busted up The Undertaker and apparently busted up Chris Jericho, I read. Well, it doesn't make sense. Just do fucking wrestling punches like you used to. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I'll go with AJ. AJ should win. Shane doesn't need to win. AJ should win. Moving on. We're about halfway-ish there now. We've got Bayley versus Charlotte versus Sasha versus Nia Jax. And a fatal 4-way elimination match for the Raw Women's Championship. And the build has been pretty poor for this again. I don't know what they're doing with Bayley, but she just isn't being booked like she was in NXT. It's just pretty poor. This is the overall thing. Just poor. Just aren't making me care about her and making her seem just, I don't know, crap. Pretty much. I just don't think they're doing a good job of it. They could be doing so much better, and they're not. It just seems like, again, they're just throwing everybody into this and just sort of, I guess, hope for the best, really. There's nothing really story-wise here to talk about. I mean, a few weeks ago there was the whole Sasha sort of trying to put doubt in Bayley with saying, oh, the doubters are saying that you can't win on your own or something, but they never followed it up. Never followed it up. It would have been better if it was just Bayley and Sasha, and then maybe Charlotte could have done something with Dana, but I don't know if that's really worth a WrestleMania match. But as for everybody else, I think they're just thrown in there for the sake of it. As for who'll win, I would pull for Bayley. I don't think Nia's gonna win. I don't think Charlotte either. I don't think it'd be wise to give her the title again. Only person would maybe be if it ended up back down at Bayley and Sasha, and maybe Sasha turned heel and won. That'd be the only sort of way I could see anybody else winning it. If not, I'll go with Bayley. Now, moving on, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, United States Championship has been going on for a long time. That's the kind of good thing I like about some of the matches. You got that one, and then the Triple H one, and the Bray Orton are all really long-term built matches, which is something you haven't seen in a long time in the WWE, in my opinion. That's something just you never seen like a year ago, a couple of years ago. Something you didn't see at all. And it's been overall it's been good, but this last week, the last final build was terrible. It was just like a tag match or something. I can't even remember who it was against. It was Sami Zayn and Jericho, Owens, Joe, I think. Just poor. Considering they had the bloody good Festival of Friendship thing, which was awesome, and then Jericho had that thing, was it a couple of weeks ago, with where he showed the real Kevin Owens. That was pretty good, but then just poor final build. You know, this is one match that people are invested in, and then you just give them that, and that's what I'm supposed to like. Oh well, this tag match, I'm so now looking forward to Jericho and Owens facing off. No, that's terrible, and you haven't made me care about the US title at all. I'll go with Kevin Owens for the win. I have nothing else to say. Just poor. Now, the one match, another match that people weren't happy about being announced is, in my opinion, the best built match from start to finish is John Cena and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice. I'm actually looking forward to this. Didn't think that was something I would ever say, but it's true. It's the one match, start to finish, has been excellently built up. The promos have been great. My only thing is that Miz has never been allowed to respond to Cena's stuff. That's my only issue. That's the only issue. Cena has to always look the good guy. That's my only thing. The Total Bellas thing, the Total Bellas bullshit videos were so good. The one last week was hilarious. The first ones, I thought that was really good, and this one's was good too. This week's ones, and I thought they said, and then when they revealed that they were Miz and Maurice and not dressed up as Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella and all that stuff, I thought, wow, that was really good. But then Cena comes back and just destroys both of them. I was like, holy shit! But and Miz didn't get to respond. Like they said so many like insane things, like saying about seriously disrespectful stuff about Maurice, and how Miz got Maurice back to WWE so he could be on Total Divas or some shit. And I was like, what the fuck? That's some bullshit. That's not fucking true. Like Miz said on the red carpet thing just now in the Hall of Fame, if he wanted something, he could have got to MTV and got something instantly. I was like, that's not true. I'm not believing that at all. But he just absolutely destroyed Miz, and Miz just had to stand there and take it. Like Miz could have retorted to that. You know, there should have been a response. That's the only downside to this is that Miz hasn't been able to respond to Cena's stuff. Cena always has to get the last say. That's the only bad thing. And I want Miz and Maurice to win. They deserve to. Nikki apparently has got another neck injury. Cena's going to wait to film more movies. Miz should win. He deserves it. He's the best heel right now in WWE. And I was speaking to somebody yesterday. I said that Miz is probably the best heel since Edge. He's just so good. He's so good in the mic this last year or so. He's just been really, really good. And he's very underrated in the ring. People are quite thingied about the Miz, but he's really, really underrated in the ring, in my opinion. He's one of the better wrestlers, and I want to see him as WWE champion, maybe by the end of the year. I liked when he's Intercontinental champion. What I don't get is when everybody else is Intercontinental champion, they don't do much with him. But when Miz is champion, he gets to do great stuff, and the title feels important. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, pulling for Miz. Bad feeling that Cena and that's gonna win. Moving on, we have Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin for the Intercontinental title. Again, very poor build. I thought it started off good, with the Elimination Chamber thing, and then Baron Corbin crushing him with a forklift. I was like, what the fuck? But then followed up with nothing. And then I think the last, not this week, but the week before, I don't really. Oh yeah, Ambrose came back on a forklift and just sort of hit a dirty deeds. Woohoo. And then this week there was nothing on SmackDown. I thought that's fucking terrible. That's absolutely terrible. But then they did have a talking thing on Talking Smack, which I think is something they should do more of on Talking Smack to build feuds. Have something go down there. I know they talk about each other and they talk about their opponent, but have something where they're both going back and forth. I think is something they should do more often. But like I said, the title just doesn't feel important. The title just does not feel important. This feud doesn't feel important, and I think this match should replace the women's match on the pre-show. This is probably the worst built match, and it deserves to be on the pre-show, really. And that's nothing against either guy. I like them both. Just the booking has been horrible, in my opinion. Corbin will likely win, but haven't really given me much of a reason to care about this match. I thought, like, when they did the forklift thing, I thought, okay, this is going to be good, but they followed up with nothing. Like, I feel SmackDown, this is something I didn't think I'd say, but it would actually benefit from being 3 hours, or at least a half an hour more, because they're not getting, the tag division, I spoke about that before, is horrendous, and it's not any of the people's fault. It's just that the booking, or lack of booking, is terrible. Something really annoys me is when people are like, oh well, American Alpha suck, they've been the worst tag champs ever. They blame them, and that really pisses me off because it's not their fault. It's not their fault at all. It's they're not being booked, or the booking is terrible. Like when Usos won the title, that was an amazing match. That was a great match. Then the week before, it was one of the most boring matches I've ever seen in my life between the two. It's just so inconsistent. That's the thing with the booking right now. Very inconsistent. And people are like, oh well, they don't have a match. That's some bullshit. Well, there's fucking 30 matches. What do you need more for? It's just why does everybody want just everybody to be used? The show's more than long enough. You've got all these bloody pay-per-views, and it's just too much. It's too much. I don't get the whole thing where everybody needs to be used. How about just use some people for a while, they do a feud, then take a break, use these other guys, I don't know. That's the way I would like it to be. I'd like it to be a more quality show. I'd rather less and the show be better. That's what I would like. But we're getting like an 8-hour show, so strap in, folks. As for the winner, I think I said Baron Corbin. Now, moving on, we have Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, Sansa Moore and Big Cass versus Cesaro and Sheamus in a triple threat ladder match for the Raw tag titles. Now, this is actually one of the ones that sort of had okay booking, I guess. It's been alright. Now, when Mick Foley got fired and then Stephanie was like, oh well, Cesaro and Sheamus, you got to earn your win at this match, and they're saying it's going to be a 4-on-2 with Gallows and that versus Enzo and that. And I thought, okay, the tag matches are usually, not bad on Raw. They're usually okay, and Cesaro and Sheamus, they're usually great. The match was over in like, I don't know, a minute. Bloody Enzo and that just started beating each other up, and then I thought that's the way it would go eventually, but not instantly. I thought we were actually going to get a match, and then Cesaro and Sheamus just won. I was like, what the fuck? But no, we can give like 5 minutes plus to a fucking Goldberg video package, or a Triple H in that video package, or talking about the most irrelevant shit ever. We can't give these guys a few minutes to put on a good match. Okay. And then this week, Gallows and that started attacking Enzo and that with ladders. Which I thought, okay, that's cool. We're probably going to maybe get a ladder match, and they did announce it the next day. And then they had a brawl in the ring with ladders, and Sheamus got a nasty bust open over the eyeball. Oh, looks absolutely nasty, and he's got it all stitched up now. It just looks nasty, absolutely nasty. It was a huge gash. very, very nasty. Now, I really want to see Cesaro and Sheamus win this. I really, really like these two. I think they're great. And I think they'll probably be the stars of this match, those two. I could see Enzo taking some crazy bumps. I mean, they're destroying Enzo. I mean, oh my God, he takes bro kicks and big boots and all these moves legit. He's legit getting hit by this stuff. I mean, he's maybe a pain in the arse and that on the mic and what have you, and they're kind of getting a bit boring at times. But man, he takes some serious, legit kicks and what have you. It's insane, absolutely insane. So I expect him to take some big stuff and big bumps, and I think it could be a good match. I do. I think it could be a match. And speaking of ladders, people were like, "Oh, the Hardys might come back here," or there might be like a special surprise match with the Usos and the Hardys. Why not just save it for Raw? You know, the show is long enough. We don't need more. Yes, the Broken Hardys thing is awesome and I love it, but save it for Raw. You know, so I think it should go to Raw. People are like, oh well, we need the Revival to come to SmackDown and save the division because everybody else sucks. No, the booking sucks, and I don't think the Hardys should go to SmackDown. Really, I think they'd be better on Raw. I do. I don't think that's something I would say, but SmackDown just seems to lack the time to, you know, to have a good tag team thing. They could, but I feel like they waste a lot of time on some stuff. You know, I feel like some segments are too long and what have you, and then we don't get to see these guys. Maybe if there was no 205 Live, there could be like an extra half hour for SmackDown or something. I'd be okay with a half hour. I think 3 may be too much, but an extra half hour would allow them to do the tag team and allow the mid-card stuff to go down. I think it would be better. But as for this, I'm going for Cesaro and Sheamus. I'm pulling for them. Do you think they'll win? I don't know. I think it might be Enzo and Cass to win. But I'm going Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, moving on. Final match. Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch. Natalya versus Mickie James versus Carmella versus Naomi. And a 6-packs challenge, it says here, for the SmackDown Women's title. Now, overall, the build has been not bad to this. It's been okay. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, apart from just lobbing everybody into it. It's been alright. And I thought Naomi's return this week was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. And she did that nasty bloody spiked Hurricane Rana to Natalya on the entrance ramp. I was like, holy shit. I thought that was pretty cool. But I've enjoyed it. I like the way sort of Carmella came into things, and then Natalya. I think it's been good. You know, I do think it's been good. And they keep saying that it's every available woman, so I'm thinking maybe some people might return. I mean, Tamina has been on the live events the last month or so, and they've got like Kelly and Eve Torres and Beth Phoenix, but I don't think Beth Phoenix would wrestle. They got all these people at WrestleMania, so maybe they'll appear. I don't know. I think some other people might show up. I do. I think that could happen. But it would I have liked to see maybe like a one-on-one match or something. I don't know, because Alexa Bliss she's an excellent character. She's really great character, great on the mic. But she does have some work to do in the ring. So people might not be happy about that. But it's true. There's some poor stuff, like they had like I think it was like a tag match or something, I don't know, on SmackDown this week, and she was doing some stuff, and while Mickey, you know, did sell it well and what have you, I thought it was poor wrestling, you know, some poor stuff. Not hating on her at all, just, you know, just gotta improve, and that'll happen with time and with experience. I just thought there was some moves that she does and some punches or what have you, looks a bit poor. But yeah, she'll improve. As for who'll win it, I don't know. I think it'd be good if Naomi won it back, but I don't know. I could see Alexa, you know, pulling it out and maybe getting a sneaky win here. So I'll go with Alexa or Naomi. That's who I'm going for there. But there you have it, finally done. 29 minutes. Okay, I thought it would probably go about that long. I didn't think it would. Well, I thought it probably would actually, but I was kind of thinking I didn't speak just too much about all the matches. There you have it. I'm gonna go and start watching the Hall of Fame. I'm glad the Hall of Fame's on now on a Friday. I think that's good, because last year I just got Hall of Fame watched, and I think I had maybe like an hour, and I was catching up with like Twitter and what have you, WWE's Twitter, and then it was time to start watching WrestleMania. So I'm glad the Hall of Fame is now, and I don't know if I'm going to stay up for TakeOver. I think I am. I think I might stay up for TakeOver, then sleep through Sunday, and get up. I don't know, get up maybe 7, 8 o'clock or something at night. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens. I think I'm going to watch it live and then just get up when I get up, and then watch WrestleMania, because I'm off. Well, I'm off for 3 days. I'm working Thursday, Friday, just so I can take some extra days, for all these ridiculous amount of pay-per-views there is now. So I use those days for taking a half day at work. That's why I'm working 2 days. I would have been off the whole week, but it's just so I've got some extra days to take off. Because I don't like staying up all night and then going to work all day. It's not the best thing. I used to do it for years, but I don't like doing it. It's not the greatest thing to be doing to your body. So yeah, there's that. I'm glad I'm off too, because there's a Raw talk this week on Raw apparently. So I hope that doesn't become a regular thing. I really don't want that to be a regular thing. There's enough stuff as it is, and it's very hard for me to be a fan of wrestling, because it's very time consuming. And I mean, if you just watch the shows, okay, but I like to read about stuff, and I watch all the exclusives on YouTube and what have you. I watch all that sort of stuff. It is time consuming. It is a very time consuming thing, wrestling. I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone, unless you're just going to be a casual and you don't really care. And okay, go for it. But if you want to go into it and be a full-on fan, it's a very time consuming thing. I'd say might actually be worse than being a wrestler yourself. There's a lot of bloody stuff, and I didn't even watch all the shows. I don't watch all your ride-alongs and stuff like that. If I watched all that, I would probably have no time outside. My free time would just be WWE, and I don't want that. I don't like that at all. I like to watch some other stuff. There you have it. I think I've yapped enough. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Tell me your predictions, but I say that all the time, and I very rarely get a response. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. See you later.